One of the hardest parts about being an adult right now is realizing you can work full time, do everything right, and still feel broke. So, today we're reacting to a few videos that perfectly explain why so many people feel stuck right now, especially when it comes to affording life and eventually buying a home. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kay, giving you the real keys to home ownership so that your first buy does not become your first regret. Let's get into it.
I'm poor. I've been poor my entire life, 23 going on 24, and I'm broke every single week. I get paid weekly. At the end of the week, I got like $50 to my name. All I'm doing is paying my bills and then paying off my debt. I was an idiot in college, don't even use my degree, but I have a specialized job. I'm making decent money, and I have nothing left over at the end of each week. I work 50 hours a week. I'm just tired of being poor. So if you know any side hustles, second jobs, that would be great. Not trying to drive all the time, so don't tell me to DoorDash.
Man, I really hate to hear stories like this. And when I see them, I completely understand where she's coming from because a lot of people are tired. People are working full time, heck, overtime, trying to pick up side hustles, trying to budget better, trying to do this and trying to do that. And at the end of the day, they're still behind. And this isn't due to anyone being lazy or being irresponsible or for the lack of willing to work hard. It's just everything is expensive and whatever you're making isn't enough. And after a while, this really starts to feel like you're on a treadmill that never stops. Like you keep running and you're trying to keep up with everything, but things keep getting more expensive faster than you can keep up. And I know that is frustrating. What saddens me is that frustration often becomes discouragement, especially for people out there that aspire to be homeowners one day because they stop believing that that's even possible for them. I heard her say in the video she went to school and got a degree and now she has a specialized job, but she's not using the degree. I did the same thing. And for a while, I felt like a failure. Like, why did I go to school for 4 years and pay all of that money just to not be working in the career field that I went to school for? But this is what I want you all to remember. You have to stop comparing your journey, your timelines, your goals and aspirations, and when you hit those goals and aspirations to other people. It is going to constantly discourage you. You're going to constantly feel like you're missing out and that you need to have more and that you're not working hard enough when really none of that is the case. If you're in a situation like the young lady in the video where you're working full time and you're really just living paycheck to paycheck, it's time to really sit down and see where you can cut back. You either have to make more money or you have to reduce your monthly obligations. Maybe it might be time for you to move in with a family member or get a roommate or try finding another job or doing side hustles to create an extra stream of revenue. I have seen the benefits of staying at home longer than moving out as soon as I turned 18. Because please believe me, I wanted to, but my bank account had another story. She said, "Sis, you're not ready." So I stayed here and it really has been a blessing. I've been able to save up the money that I need so when I move, I'm in a better position. And I think a big mistake, especially for younger people right now, is we feel like we have to have everything figured out. And you don't, y'all. I promise you, you don't. We're definitely in a time where multiple streams of income are not just a suggestion, but are becoming more of a necessity. Learning new skills, networking with other people might be worth looking into. And I want to hear from y'all. For the people who may be dealing with this, let me know what you think down below. Are there some suggestions that you guys can give to help each other out in this situation? I really didn't hit on the social media pressure and aspect that makes this so much worse, but that's what this next clip is going to get into. So let's check it out.
Nothing really compares to that confusion you get when you're working a job with people, y'all doing the same job, making around the same money, but here they come with brand new cars, just got a new house, keep having babies, and you trying to figure out where your next meal coming from. Like, yeah, I had to go put a down payment and buy a 2008 Ford Fusion. And you coming here with a brand new Beamer? That don't, wait a second. Wait a second. You having another baby? How many you got? 4. I can barely take care of myself on this money, bro. We making little money. Little money, and your wife don't work. So how are you taking care of a family of 5 with $40,000? I know I ain't making. I know you ain't making. Man, all hands can make that money scratch, can't it? Damn.
Scratch.
They gotta be making plays. They gotta be making plays.
Man, he was funny, but nah, I feel him because I really do be wondering sometimes, like, where are y'all getting all of this money? Y'all going to Aruba and Costa Rica and you buying all these new clothes and shoes and cars and stuff. And I'm like, I know, I know what you making because we got the same job. You can't be making that much more than me. So I definitely understand where he's coming from. But one benefit of working in real estate and the mortgage industry for as long as I have, it really has taught me that appearances mean nothing when it comes to your finances. A lot of people look rich on the outside, but are really drowning financially. They're in credit card debt, they have student loan debt, they have car payments. They're struggling every month to try to make all of those payments on all of these items and things that they've signed for and have made obligations to. That is why I stress to people it is so important that you don't compare yourself in general, that you don't compare your journey or what your goals or aspirations are to somebody else because you don't know what it took for them to get what they got and you don't know what they're having to do to maintain it. So you can't trust what social media shows you because everybody is showing up as their best selves and they're not giving you the full picture. A lot of people have help from their parents. Some people have to split bills. Some people get married and now have dual incomes, which helps them qualify for homes. A lot of people are in serious debt. And on the flip side, some people are just really disciplined with their money. As he said, the old heads know how to make the money scratch. All right. Well, I guarantee you they live beneath their means. When you have 3, 4, 5 kids, you can't be doing all of the willy-nilly spending. They usually are very disciplined about allocating money to where it needs to go so that everybody is covered. And those are the people that end up having 2, 3, 4 houses in their lifetime. Be content with where y'all are at. We have to stop financing appearances. Who cares what people think? Who cares what people look like? Because it's causing unnecessary debt. And at the end of the day, you have to reduce or lower that unnecessary debt. And I know it's hard when you're getting into new careers and you're making more money as you grow in whatever career field that you're in. But it's really important that you avoid lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. Just because you're making more money doesn't mean you have to spend more money. You have to get to a point where you're like, I'm spending this much, I'm making this much, and then whatever is in the middle, I'm going to invest it, I'm going to save it, whatever it is. So you put yourself in a better position for your future self. Here's something I've realized. The people that position themselves best to buy are not the ones making the most money. A lot of times, it's people who have stopped trying to look successful all the time. And with that being said, honestly, I think this next conversation is where a lot of people scare themselves out of ownership completely.
The average home price in America just went up to $415,000. At a 20% down payment, that would mean you would have to save up $100,000 plus with closing fees and a 6-month emergency fund for a 20% down payment. The problem is that the average American makes between $50,000 to $70,000 a year, and it would take them, without spending any money on car notes, paying off a car loan, paying off student loans, 20 years to save up $100,000. That's about $2,700 you put away every single month for 20 years to save up $100,000. Now, the problem is home prices double every 20 years. So basically, nobody can qualify for these homes.
Now, I understand where he's coming from because ownership is expensive now. But y'all, ownership was expensive back then as well. Okay. What I really don't like about these conversations is that a lot of people hear this and think, well, I'll just never buy because I'll just never be able to afford it. And that's so not the case because do you know how common it is for people to put 20% down on a home? It's not very common. Okay. That's why credit and lenders and loans and things were created. You don't have to come up with 20% out of pocket. You could get a loan for as little as for leveraging as little as 3% of your money if you're a first-time home buyer, to get into that home. Very rarely do people put 20% down. So when I hear things like this, I don't like it because it discourages people who want to buy from getting onto the property ladder because they're like, well, I'll never be able to. That's not true. If home ownership is a goal for you, I want you to start looking at things more strategically than emotionally. We have got to stop waiting for the perfect moment to come because rates are never going to be perfect. Housing prices are never going to be the perfect amount for you to want to buy. It's just buying a home, there's never a perfect scenario. Your first home may not be a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. You may have to start with a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and that's fine. Everybody's story is different. Your goal should always be stability, however that looks. And you shouldn't let anyone judge you for that. Your stable is going to look different than my stable. That's it. That's all. Because you're the one paying the bills. You're the one having to get up and go to work. You're the one footing the bill. And waiting until everything is perfect can cause you to be waiting till you're up to a point where you really can't buy now because you've waited so long. So to help with that, I stress if you're a first-time home buyer, you need to buy a starter home. Now, a starter home is not $400,000. A starter home in my area is $250,000 or less. It may not look like the best thing smoking, right? But it's a house. It's your first home. It's a starter home in your building. This does not have to be your forever home. You're just trying to get onto the property ladder. Another thing to help with this is, like I said earlier, buy a little further out. Or if you work remotely, that's even better. When you go to rural areas, it's not as expensive as if you're buying in the city. Also, another thing I stress, you have to buy with a strategy and not emotion. You can't wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to buy a house. You cannot buy a house with no money and with no plan. Now, I didn't say you will never be able to buy. You just have to know what you're doing to prepare yourself for when you do want to buy. And a lot of people skip the basics and the fundamentals. They skip the starter home phase and want to go straight to the luxury because of what we see, social media and things like that. Hopefully, I broke that barrier and I've made you feel comfortable and not ashamed to be able to buy what you can afford and buy what's for you. Your first home is not to impress other people. The goal is not to look rich. The goal is to build options for your future self. And a lot of the smartest buyers that I've seen were not flashy people. They just were strategic. So the biggest thing I want you to take from this video is that if you're feeling financially overwhelmed, you're not alone. A lot of people are quietly struggling in this economy, even the ones who look like they have it all together online. And I really need people to realize that home ownership for us today does not have to look the exact same way that it did for our parents and our grandparents. For some people, that may mean your first home is smaller, it's farther out. You may have had to save a little longer and come up with a strategy so that you were able to buy, and that's fine. The goal is to always create financial breathing room for yourself before you try to move into a luxury home. Overall, the point that I want to make is none of that means that home ownership is impossible. If you're somebody that eventually wants to buy a home but have no idea where to start, that's exactly what I do. I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Texas. My check number is 768070. And I help people create realistic plans based on their situation and not what you see on social media. If you're not ready for that just yet, there is a free giveaway linked in the description below that hits on the fundamentals of what you need to know before you even start on your home buying journey. And also too, for your education, be sure to check out these next 2 videos so that you can ensure that your first home is the right one. Remember, when you know better, you definitely buy smarter. Until next time, see you in the next one.